Alright guys, welcome to the Let's Play on Legacy of Kain Soul Reaver. It's the second of the Legacy of Kain series. Quick FYI, I do plan on buying this for the PSN relatively soon, as in a day or two. So this will switch over from the PlayStation 1 to my PS3 soon, depending if I beat it in between now and then. I can beat this game in literally one setting. I've done it before multiple times. But if it does do that, I'll have to take some time off to catch up to wherever I am. It shouldn't take too long, so. Anyway, let's get to it.
Kain is deified. The clans tell tales of him. Few know the truth. He was mortal once, as were we all. However, his contempt for humanity drove him to create me and my brethren. I am Raziel, firstborn of his lieutenants. I stood with Kain and my brethren at the dawn of the Empire. I have served him a millennium. Over time, we became less human and more divine. Kain would enter the state of change and emerge with a new gift. Some years after the Master, our evolution would follow, until I had the honor of surpassing my lord. For my transgression, I earned a new kind of reward. Agony. There was only one possible outcome. My eternal damnation. I, Raziel, was to suffer the fate of traitors and weaklings, to burn forever in the bowels of the Lake of the Dead. Cast him in. Tumbling, burning with white-hot fire, I plunged into the depths of the abyss. Unspeakable pain, relentless agony. Time ceased to exist. Only this torture and a deepening hatred of the hypocrisy that damned me to this hell. An eternity passed, and my torment receded, bringing me back from the precipice of madness. The descent had destroyed me, and yet I lived.
I know you, Raziel. You are worthy.
What madness is this? What pitiful form is this that I have come to inhabit? Death would be a release next to this travesty.
You did not survive the abyss, Raziel. I have only spared you from total dissolution.
I would choose oblivion over this existence.
The choice is not yours.
I am destroyed.
You are reborn. The birth of one of Kain's abominations traps the essence of life. It is this soul that animates the corpse you lived in. And that, Raziel, is the demise of Nosgoth. There is no balance. The souls of the dead remain trapped. I cannot spin them in the wheel of fate. They cannot complete their destinies. Redeem yourself. Or if you prefer, avenge yourself. Settle your dispute with Kain. Destroy him and your brethren. Free their souls and let the wheel of fate churn again. Use your hatred to reave their souls. I can make it possible. Become my soul reaver, my angel of death.
Alright, here we are. Ooh, joystick. I got used to this again, it's been a really long time. Anyway, as you saw from the intro, this is actually takes place sometime after Blood Omen. A few centuries at the least. If you pay close attention to the opening introduction, you can actually see a lot of references to Blood Omen. On Kain's chest, on the right side of his body, near his on his stomach, near his right pec, you can see a long strip of discoloration, a lot darker than the rest of his skin. That's from where Kain was stabbed as a human. Of course, it's different location from where it was in the game because it was dead center before. It's believed that during his metamorphosis, quote-unquote, his scar shifted a little bit. Also in his ear, I think his left ear, yeah, you can see Vorador's ring, which is kind of interesting. So let's get to it. There we are. Okay. This is one of my first fully 3D platform games that I played when I was younger. From my memory, that is. I could be wrong. Probably am.
These gates twist space, laying a path across great spans.
So these are how we're going to get around. Unfortunately, I'm going to demonstrate it. Unless you're able to memorize the symbols in the background, you will not know where you're going. I know what they are because I've played this game so many times. I know what all the symbols represent. Unfortunately, we haven't unlocked any of these, as you can tell by their white color.
You must visit other gates before this portal will be open to you.
So you have to actually visit the other side of the gate to unlock it. Raziel is one of my favorite characters of the Blood Omen series, next to Janos. We'll see him later.
You are weak. You must feed.
The old hunger has left me. I have no desire for blood.
You are changed. Your blood is replaced by a deeper need. You have become a devourer of souls. To sustain your strength, you must hunt the lost spirits of the underworld and consume the souls of your enemies.
Unfortunately, my hard copy is quite old, so it may be glitchy from time to time. As you heard from the Elder God mentioning the thirst, he kind of cut out for a little bit there. At least according to how it was in my headset. So I apologize for that. Like I said earlier, I'll be getting a download version of it soon, and those glitches should go away.
Your wings, though ruined, are not without purpose. Take hold of them as you leap, and they will carry you across this chasm.
Fun fact, by the way, Michael Bell, the voice work of Raziel, was given a copy of Soul Reaver when they finished production of it. And he wanted to play the game so he can, get to the points of the game, see what his character went through in context. Because if you've seen the voice actors, they get lines and shown scenes of where it's at, or storyboard at the least. So he wanted to see everything and so on and such forth. And he had trouble with this part, I believe, at least from what he said. And he got frustrated. His daughter was sitting next to him going, Daddy, Daddy, I can do it, I can do it. And he goes, No, I want to do it, I want to do it. Hours pass, he looks up and he realizes that, hours have flown by. And so he goes, I can't do it. And he gets up and leaves. About an hour or two later, he comes back and his daughter's way past him. So he believes that kids of at the least my generation have a chip installed in their brain that lets them do games like this.
What scabrous wretches are these?
Slua, the scavengers of the underworld. Their feral hunger has claimed countless souls, spirits who now shall never find their rest.
So here are our our otherworldly enemies. Come here, you. I'm not used to this. Well, let's feed. Yeah, we can devour the souls of the Slua. There he is. You're not going to run around doing this a lot to attack the enemies that run away. I'll eat you too. I loved this game growing up. It was really unique compared to all the games I've played before.
These portals are your conduit between the spectral and material realms. With their aid, you may gather matter and will yourself to become manifest in the physical world. This is taxing, however. Your strength must first be fully restored. You require no conduit to return to this plane. You may abandon your physical body at any time.
So basically, we need full health, and if we find one of these portals, we can go to the physical world. And in the physical world, we can actually just ditch our body and go on. Fun little side note, this game started out originally as a standalone project called Shifter, where this was the primary mechanic of the game. It wasn't until, I believe, halfway through production they decided to turn it into a Legacy of Kain game. Here's our glyph menu. Well, unfortunately, we only have the shift ability, so.
Sustain your strength to prolong your manifestation in the physical world. If you fail to feed or absorb too many wounds, this fragile matter will dissolve.
So if we fail to eat, which is draining the souls of our enemies, or we take too much damage, we go back to the spirit world.
You are young yet, Raziel. You still retain many of your vampiric weaknesses. Immersion in water, while not fatal, will dissolve your physical body, forcing your return to the spirit world. Be aware that in the spectral realm, water has neither heft nor lift. It stands as thin as air.
So we are still a vampire, technically. Our body is, at least. So water will kill us. Fun little side note, technically there is no game over in this game. If you die, you go to the spirit world. If you die in the spirit world, you go back to the, where we started the game. But you don't really lose anything besides where you were.
What are these creatures?
Do you not recognize them? They are the children of your brother, Duma.
That's impossible. These foul, scuttling beasts could not be kin of our high blood.
Do you suppose that time stood still for you, Raziel? Much has changed since you passed from the world of men.
Now, I've never been sure about this, but I always assume that the red thing coming out of them is their tongue. but it could be their this platform's interpretation of how Kain fed in the original game. So it's just flying into their mouth.
I knew my opponent's weaknesses, having suffered them myself. Physical wounds are fleeting. Vampire's immortal flesh begins to close as soon as it is cleaved. Vampires need only fear those wounds that impale or inflame. Water scorches like acid, and fledglings are devastated by sunlight's touch. I would have to modify my tactics to suit my foes.
So these are the Dumahian. They are the most common enemy we'll find throughout the game. Come here, you! I'm gonna throw you into sunlight.
Unfettered from the flesh, a creature's soul fades swiftly into the spectral realm. Draw it in quickly, Raziel, or you will be compelled to follow.
You'll usually see me stand in sunlight if I have to draw on a soul. Some enemies are actually stupid enough to come following you, chasing you into the sunlight. Alright, I'm gonna impale this one. Oh, missed. There we are. Alright. I got used to this controlling again.
Your physical prowess surpasses what you knew in life. Even massive obstacles can be moved effortlessly.
Unfortunately, in this game, block puzzles are the predominant form of puzzles. So we have to worry about doing this a lot. We can also crouch and flip blocks. Fun side note, if there's a block right next to it, like right in front of it, and you do a flip, you actually lift the block up and push on top of the block. You can pick up torches, by the way, by walking up to stuff like this and pressing square. It'll light up areas and whatnot for you. But I'm going to save that for later, so throw.
My God! The sanctuary of the clans reduced to ruin. Beyond these walls lay the pillars of Nosgoth, the seat of Kain's empire. How humble it now appeared, collapsing into the dust of its former magnificence. And yet, I had only just emerged. In the instant between my execution and resurrection, centuries had apparently passed.
This world is wrecked with cataclysms. The earth strains to shrug off the pestilence of Kain's parasitic empire. The fate of this world was preordained in an instant by a solitary man. Unwilling to martyr himself to restore Nosgoth's balance, Kain condemned the world to the decay you see. In that moment, the unraveling began. Now it is nearly played out. Nosgoth teeters on the brink of collapse. Its fragile balance cannot hold.
So because of Kain unwilling to sacrifice himself, Nosgoth's in danger. I love these weapons. Anyway, crouch and press square, drop it. Hold triangle to auto aim, but first I'm going to show you something. The flags. They actually have different marks to represent the clans. That one is Raziel's mark, as you can tell by the front of his hood. That is Duma. That is Zephon. Then Tyrell? Yeah. I want to cancel. Throw. So let's see here. Then it was... oh, look up. Tyrell, Rahab, and These rocks you can pick up too, by the way. Just creep, creep, and throw. Some enemies you can just kill like that. You don't have to really worry about them. Thankfully, though, unlike in Blood Omen, enemies do respawn, so... If you're silent enough, you can actually get a sneak kill up on this guy. You can't throw it at him, unfortunately. Impale! Alright. There's another Dumahian over there. These doors represent the portals. So if you ever find one, just go through the door and follow the path. So, I'm going to tell you what this symbol is. I'll probably make a bonus video demonstrating what each of the symbols are, so you can use it as a guide. This is the symbol of the Abyss. You have the two ledges and the circle representing the whirlpool. We saw it in the opening. So that means we're really close to it. Fun little side note, the Abyss, if you've seen the my LP for Blood Omen, is situated right over the Lost City, where all the werewolves were. There have been hints that that is important somehow, that there is a connection between the two. But since there has been no game after the third game, I can't remember which one, how many games there are. But after the most recent game, there hasn't been a release, so there's been no official confirmation of it.
This, at least, had remained constant. The endlessly swirling vortex of the abyss. My tomb and the womb of my rebirth. Though much of Nosgoth's landscape had changed, these cliffs gave me my bearings. My clan territory was to the west. I was anxious to see how my descendants had fared during the centuries of my absence.
Alright, so this is to the west of the Abyss. There we are. We're going to the Rosilium territory. Yes, each of the territories have name, or each of the clans of Kain's lieutenants have their own race names. Yeah, the Rosilium, the Trillium, the Melchiah, Dumahian, Zaphomian, or whatever, so on and such forth. And obviously you can tell whose territory it is by looking around eventually. You'll see markings that represent whose place it is. You little pissant, you. Alright, I'm gonna get to a place that guy can't hit me, because he's gonna try to attack me while I try to eat. Oh. Awkward controlling. Alright. Come on. The controlling is a little awkward every now and then, so... They fix this out in future games, thankfully. Alright, up in the background you'll notice what looks like a Wedge. Oop. Sorry. Looks like a wedge. We'll find out more about that later. But I saw some statues. I want to check that out real quickly. I don't remember any statues being here. Because there isn't.
Utter desolation. My once proud kin wiped from this world like excrement from a boot. I knew the hand that wrought this deed.
Kinda sad. Fortunately, there are so many things we can use as weapons around here. I want to try and get one of these guys to catch on fire. Oop. Awkward camera angles. Ow. I keep expecting the joystick to do something. There we are. Get on the other side. It'll give me some time. I'll get used to controlling again real quick. Alright, let's pick up our staff again. We have another portal. This is to the Rosalium territory. I really liked Raziel's wings. There are Game Shark codes that can allow you to fly, but unfortunately there's no control over actually getting wings. What would be cool is if they did a remake of this game with modern graphics on PS3, and you have an unlockable costume where you're a vampire Raziel. That'd be awesome, in my opinion. I mean, right over there. Now, down there we have water. We can explore it if we want to, but there's nothing down there. That leads to the Rahavian territory, I believe. Come on. There's another Dumahian right around the corner, so I want to kill this guy without too much trouble. You can pick up vases and actually throw them at enemies. They'll stun them, so you can actually attack them. With torches as a weapon, by the way, because you can pick them up, you will burn enemies on strike, and you can ignite them on fire. You'll eventually see me use it, probably, so... I'm not gonna know that Dumahian. Yeah, forgive any of the jerky control of the jerky camera. It's due to my hard copy, I believe. I'm certain once I get the download, it'll be a lot more smooth. Oop. Pull the switch. Or pull a lever. don't know why I love jumping downstairs.
No! Please!
I didn't recognize these flayed racks of flesh. Their scent was vampiric. They gnawed upon their victim's carcass like dogs.
I hate these guys, they're really annoying. If you look on the back of each of your enemies, you can actually see a mark that represents the clan they're from. Crap, he woke up. If you draw a weapon out of an enemy, they will actually come back to life. So make sure you kill them both before you start drawing in their souls. So this is the necropolis. This is Melchiah's territory. You'll come across a human hunter in here. He'll have armor on. Right there. Do not kill him. Do not kill any human you come across.
This charnel house bore the unmistakable marks of Melchiah's clan. To what depths had our dynasty plummeted if these ghouls were the descendants of my high-born brother? Were they so debased as to recruit fledglings from the desiccated corpses here interred?
Alrighty. So Raziel is disgusted by how his siblings have changed over the years. Or at least they're fledglings. Now there actually is extra information you can get from reading the booklet that comes with the game. Backstory to when Raziel was vampire still. Melchiah, I'll explain more about him in a moment. Oop. Rotate.
My brother Melchiah was made last, and therefore received the poorest portion of Kain's gift. Although immortal, his soul could not sustain the flesh, which retained much of its previous human frailty. This weakness, it seemed, was passed on to his offspring. Their fragile skins barely contained the underlying decay.
The way Kain made his vampire lieutenants is actually unique. Normally in vampiric lore, you hear about exchanging of blood that makes people vampires. Kain actually drew in souls from the underworld and made them re-inhabit their former bodies, which turned them into vampires. When he made Melchiah, Melchiah was last, and Kain was very weak from doing this. So Melchiah's soul could barely be contained inside his rotting body. But since Melchiah was very vain, he would actually go to the human slaves they kept, find the most handsome of them all, and then... This is kind of disgusting, so skip it if you're easily disgusted. He would skin them, and then wear their skin as his own. There's actually a high-resolution picture of Melchiah during the opening cutscene, where it just looks like he's a big sack of flesh that is stitched together. If I'm able to, I'll try and find a picture of it. Or I'll try and upload a picture of it onto my website. Now these guys are actually pretty stupid. If you're careful, if you're good enough, you can actually trick them to walking into sunlight. Like if I didn't do that, I could have gotten one of them to walk into the light. See? They're pretty stupid. They retain a lot of Melchiah's weaknesses as well. That's why they are basically just sacks of vampire, or sack of skin that's a vampire. It's also, they do the exact same thing their master does and just eat flesh and wear it as their own so they don't just fall apart. And this is Melchiah's portal, so we can get back to the necropolis. Yay, let's continue. Oop. Come on, open the door. There we are. This is kind of tricky. If you're not careful enough, you can actually die, because there's a lot of water down here. There's also another one of those pie slices up there. Ooh, yeah. I was having trouble with this last one right here. There we are. Perfect. There's a vampire around here. Try and knock him into the water. There we are. Unfortunately, since he actually sank, I was trying to get him into the shallows. I'm not be able to feed off his soul. Oh, I'm able to. Awesome. There are two Melchiah here, so we need to kill one and jump on a sarcophagus. Or else this other one will attack us while we're trying to feed. Throw. Alright, be careful when you... An enemy is resurrected, by the way. There's actually a good chance they can be deadly. Or deadlier. Anyway, that should look familiar-ish to Blood Omen fans. It looks a lot like the Soul Reaver. For those that didn't see the Blood Omen game and are jumping into the Soul Reaver series, in Blood Omen, Kain found a sword called the Soul Reaver. It's an enigma, and it was the most powerful weapon in the game. Jump. Already a charred vampire. Alright, so we're not going to need this weapon for a while. If you hold down the shoulder buttons, by the way, L2 and R2, you can aim where you want to throw your weapon. I'm going to throw it up that way. Alright, so there's nothing we do in this world. Fair warning, when you shift between worlds, the terrain will change slightly or drastically, so keep an eye out for that.
Beware, Raziel. These wraiths are vampire spirits, fettered too long in the spectral realm. When their vampire natures adapt to this plane, they become eaters of souls. Do not allow these spirits to re-inhabit their corpses.
If a vampire wraith re-inhabits its corpse, it gains the ability to drain soul while physical. So it will actually drain your HP if it hits you once. Fortunately, since this is the spirit world and we don't have any weapons, killing these guys is actually pretty quickly. It's like the Sluagh. And if you pay attention, you'll notice that there's an aura around their heads. Same thing with the Sluagh. That is their health, basically. When it gets to a deep red, they're almost dead, quote-unquote. Oop. There we are. So keep an eye on that. Oop, sorry. And jump, glide. Jump over. Also, for those that know the input codes to this game, I recommend not using them. Not only for the difficultness of the game drastically decreases if you have some of the stuff. There actually are some points in the game where if you have certain effects, you can't continue. I'll explain when we get to those points. I think I needed to shift here. Damn it. I messed up. I'll have to go back and shift back. It's been a while, so... But yeah, the voice of the Elder God, for those that saw my Blood Omen LP or played it, or played the game, sounds very suspicious like Mortanius, the Necromancer of the Circle. They did that because they didn't do that. Mortanius has a different voice actor. Not a different voice actor. What am I saying? I'll explain later. I'll explain more later. There we go. So unfortunately, we need to push it off the edge and get to the other side because it can't carry over this little lip for some reason. Also, it doesn't matter which one of these platforms you jump on, so long as you jump on one of them. Push. Now, there are vampires down here, so be careful. Crap. As long as you don't kill one of them, the other ones won't get up. Those mounds are the Melchiah vampires sleeping. Fortunately, they can't follow us up, so... Once you're up here, you're safe. For the most part. Yeah. Sorry, itchy nose. There we are. Push and lock. So now we can get out of here. That Dumahian's body's still laying there. I get the feeling that Wraith is back. His arms didn't move. I technically didn't need to shift, so I don't know why I did. Alright, while we're here, switch back. Unfortunately, every time you shift, you take damage, so... There's... Whoa! He went launching. Remember what the Elder God said, in the spirit world you have no weight. Well, there's nothing that's you can support yourself with, basically. Or nothing can support your... Well, everything can support your weight, really. I don't know, I'm shutting up. Alright, look inside the doors, the holes. Alright. We need to match up the symbols. Fortunately, this one's already done. Thought I'd keep a torch with me for a little bit. Like I said earlier, a lot of this game is block puzzles. So we gotta get to it's where it's on the right side now. And then make it upright. Alrighty then. Each set should have a bonus video at the end of it, by the way, showing you where to get health slices and other fun stuff. Make sure you push this down before jumping down, or else you have to go through that entire bit again, except for the puzzles. Lift it up on top of this block. This block. My voice cracked. Finally going through puberty. No. Drag it over here to about here. And jump. Like I said before, I've played this game so many times, I have virtually all the solutions to all the puzzles memorized. So I can just run through a lot of these. Ignite! Unfortunately, after killing an enemy, your torch goes out, but you can reignite it if you find a campfire by walking up to it and pressing square. Like so. I do believe there are some enemies that are weaker to fire than others. There's a giant pool of water down there, by the way, so don't go down there. Jump! Come get me, motherfuckers. I love being mean to the Melchiah. There are other weapons up here, so I don't really need this. Also, depending on the color of the Melchiah you find, will actually determine how strong they are. Like, for example, this more grayish color one is a lot stronger than the more fleshy ones we saw earlier. Suppose I probably could just throw him into those torches on the side. What? Come on. I'll walk you through the fire if I have to. Or the light if I have to. Huh. I guess I can't. Oh well. Don't really need to worry about him anyway. Oop. Sorry, I was trying to cough and walk at the same time. Could drag him over here and throw him into that fireplace, but meh. That takes work. Let us bring you with me. This does nothing yet, so there's no power to that lever. Yes, technology's actually started spreading throughout Nosgoth. Now, if you ignored the last hunter and didn't kill him, all humans will start worshipping you. Like this. This is really helpful, especially considering later on. What's also nice is, you can just do that and feed off them a little bit. You know, take a little bit of their soul. Be cautious, though. If you drain them feed them, I'm stuttering. If you feed from them too much, you will kill them. And if you kill even one enemy, or one human, all humans will hate you for the rest of the game. And trust me, you don't want some of the enemies hating you. Some of the some of the creatures hating you. Gets kind of annoying real quick. So that pushed those two gears into place, or those drill bits, whatever you want to call them. Part of the backstory that isn't said, but you can see it in the opening intro. During the time between Raziel's birth as a vampire and now, the Terrellium created smokestacks that blot out the sky. It's why everything outside is so foggy. That's actually smoke. So vampires can roam around during the day without having been killed by sunlight. Fuck. Come here, you. Fuck! I'm gonna get away so I can actually feed without having to worry about him. Drop. Come on, soul! There was a very faint soul, it means it was just about to fade into the other world. If you draw out a weapon from a soul that's faded into the other world, from a vampire that's already dead, they'll still come back to life, but they'll have the soul draining ability of vampire wraiths. So be cautious of that. You can tell a revived vampire from a normal vampire very easily. They'll have blue sparks or effects flying off of them. Like the Melchiah over here, that I ignored entirely. If I were to draw this staff from him, he'd come back as a revived vampire. I need some more souls, so I'm going to drink from him, or feed from him. They're the equivalent of those chained humans that asked Kain for help in the original game. Anyway, with the power turned on, we now have access to this lever that works. Or this lever will work now. You can pull it, but it will do nothing. We're looking for something. There it is. You won't pull that out before continuing on at any point. Then to go through here, which should have a marking above the wall. Yeah, it has those horizontal lines. Fun little side note, in these hallways like this, if you just press forward, Raziel will turn automatically. This changes in certain areas, and when you get close to the end, it stops doing that. Now we can continue on for, more if we want to, but I want to continue lowering that platform. It makes it a lot easier when we're trying to leave. Move it a little bit more. Oh, there we are. Alright. And a little bit more again. There are 4 of these, I believe, so... Fortunately, fire doesn't hurt you. Like it did for Kain. I'm just going to try something that might be interesting. I know it works for one of Kain's brothers, but I'm not sure if it works for all of them. If so, I might do this for all of them. I'll mention when I get down there. But this is leading us to Melchiah's lair. Brings that down, but we're not done yet, still. Push, slide, and lock into place. And once more. Oh, there we are. And now we have proper access to Melchiah's lair. Don't need that anymore. That's the wrong way. Melchiah's lair is just a straight down path to his lair. Man, this is dark. Hold on a second, I'm gonna crank up the brightness for you guys just a little bit so you guys can see. Holy fuck, that doesn't do anything. Yeah, I'm sorry guys, you won't be able to see much. But you'll still be able to see at least. Alright, now, I know for one of the brothers, I'm not going to say which, if you go to him in the spirit form, he'll have a special dialogue. I'm not sure if this is the same for all of them, so I'm going to try it out. There we are. Alright, so it's not. Melchiah is supposed to be right there, but he's not, so we have to shift worlds. Oh well. He's not at full health. And now we can't leave.
Show yourself, creature.
Do you not recognize me, brother?
Am I so changed?
Melchiah?
Yes, brother. You should have stayed where the Master sent you, Raziel. You will find Nosgoth less pleasant than you remember.
What has become of my clan? Answer me, little brother, or I will beat an answer from your horrid lips.
Everyone is afraid, sibling. You awake to a world of fear. These times of change are so unsettling. Do you think I feel no revulsion for this form? Do you believe for a moment that our Lord would risk his empire upon an upstart inheritance?
Enough riddles. What are you saying?
You are the last to die.
So, interesting side fact about Melchiah. If you look closely, you can actually see the development staff's face in the sacks of flesh on him. And I need to wait for him to get halfway through this doorway. Come on, slug brother. There we are. And drop. Just pay attention to the shadow underneath him, and once it gets into that line of shadow, that's when you drop the gate. Ooh. Trying to keep an eye on where he's at. I don't see him anywhere. Where is he? Oh god! The fuck you come from, man? Love how stupid Melchiah actually is. Now, you can probably guess by this, but Melchiah actually tortures a lot of his human victims here. Even kills them by crushing them with that giant blender above us. So everyone give him some just desserts here. He can phase through these gates. Come on. There you are. Now go and pull the lever.
Tell me, Melchiah, where can I find Kain?
The Master is beyond your reach, Raziel. He makes himself known when he sees fit, not when commanded. I am released.
You have done well, Raziel.
Am I reduced to this? A ghoul? A fratricide?
Elevated, Raziel, not reduced. Consuming Melchiah's soul has endowed you with a new gift. Insubstantial barriers such as these are no impediment to you in the spectral realm. Will yourself to pass through, and you shall.
Alright, so, let's test this out, and that'll be the end of the set. I'm going to do it like I did similar with the Blood Omen LP. It's going to be from boss to boss to boss. With the exclusion of the next set, considering right after this we're going to have another boss fight. At the end of each set, I'm going to do a bonus video demonstrating what you can get after you've unlocked a new ability. For example, now we have phase through gates. We can unlock some health power-ups and a glyph. I'll explain what glyphs are in the bonus video. So if you're looking for the glyphs or the location of all the health power-ups, it'll be nicely evened out, or divided up into segments for you guys. But since we can't shift at will, unfortunately, there is a code for that, but I'm not going to fuck with that. We have to actually leave through the spirit world. Like so. That's why I told you to remember to pull out that block before going down there. I know there's a way to get up here without that block. Or if you didn't pull the block out, but I don't remember what it was. It's been a while, so... Jump over.
Return to the sanctuary of the clans, Raziel. Melchiah's soul has endowed you with the means to gain entry. Beware, however. This hollow derelict is abandoned, but not uninhabited.
Good to know. Alright, so... I want to try and get to that little platform out in there. Now, this is going to be the end of it. Hope you guys enjoyed the LP. If you have, please like and subscribe. You can check out the previous Legacy of Kain game on this channel as well. You can also check out my webpage, the Facebook channel, and if you are a member of roosterteeth.com, you can also check out the group I have up on there. I'm all over the place. So I shall see you guys in the next set, well, in the bonus video, where I show you a bunch of nifty stuff. Or I'll see you in the next set, or wherever you see me again. Bye!